Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your first gameplay for the Blom und Voss 155 B-1. This is a German aircraft, a German interceptor, so it does get interceptor air spawn, where it starts off at around 1,000 or 1,500 meters, give or take. And this is a Battle Pass reward, so this is the reward for the field testing Battle Pass season, and it is the free reward that you can get at level 51. As you can see right here, very cool aircraft. This is a very unique aircraft, and probably the aircraft that a lot of people are going to want, or not the aircraft, but rather the vehicle, a lot of people are going to want for this Battle Pass. Now, as you can see here, if you haven't already known, this has ridiculous wings, almost as though a U-2 went back into World War II and was attached with a prop engine and some cannons. That's because this is a very high altitude fighter. As you can see, it has a great top speed at a surprisingly low BR, but the reason being is because that top speed is at 15,500 meters, and it has a max altitude of 17,000 meters, which is just absolutely ridiculous. A surprisingly good turn time in the stat card, and I can actually corroborate that. This thing actually turns very well, but these wings are ultimately huge targets, and one interesting thing here that I've noticed is that, at least as of right now, there is nothing that is labeled as a fuel tank. So this plane, essentially, jokingly, of course, I know it has fuel, but it has no fuel, at least nothing listed. I'm wondering if that's going to impact gameplay. Of course, these spars could have internal fuel tanks, or they could be mislabeled. I'm not sure, but as of right now, unless I'm missing something, there are no fuel tanks in the model. So very odd, but that is how it is. Anyways, this has one 30mm cannon and two 20mm cannons, making this a very rough customer. That being said, let's get into some gameplay here, see how we can do, and hopefully I don't make a total fool of myself. So, this aircraft, from what I could tell, it needs the interceptor air spawn. I mean, absolutely. Absolutely, because, I mean, if you look at that P-39, he started right around, where's that, right there, all right, and now he is right at about the same altitude as me. That is absolutely insane. Like, I've got no chance of catching that H-8K, zero chance. I kind of want to go for the B-18, but I know that F-6F can probably take him down, so I don't feel like that'd be a wise decision on my part. Rather, I'm going to go for this RO-57. Hopefully he's a big enough target for me to be able to take out without too much hesitancy. And hopefully he only focuses on that B-34. And he is not. So, if nothing else, this thing can take a little bit of a beating. I didn't destroy the RO, but let's go see what we can do with this P-57. I do not, oh my gosh. I feel like I can probably get in some head-ons here, but I don't want to, because I just cannot make the fine adjustments necessary. Okay, I got 2 kills. Okay, still have my MG-151s. This thing can actually turn quite well. Let's put those flaps. Okay, the flaps are not as good as I would hope, but it doesn't really matter, and it's understandable. So let's see here. Now, on the deck, I mean, I'm not moving fast, but this thing is turning well. It's just these fine movements that are just really difficult with this plane. Like, you pretty much have to know what your exact pitch and yaw have to be, like, well before you start firing on somebody, because you're not going to be able to. Not well. Okay, let's see here. Okay, got a critical hit. My ammo's running low. Got him. 3 kills. Not too shabby-dabby. So we have a CR-32 up there. P-39 coming down. Wonder what's going to happen. I mean, honestly, this gun-wise, this thing is somewhat impressive. Yeah. I want to go for him. But I know I'm not going to be able to. And I'm probably just doing myself to death. I really don't care, though. Anyways, I got 3 kills. I was severely damaged right there by the end of it. So I think my subconscious brain decided, hey, you know what? You are already dead, so just end this in a blaze of glory while giving somebody some points. Anyways, let's get into another match, see what we can do. 3 kills, not too bad, but I'm not a fan of the aiming system of this plane thus far, like how you can make fine movements, and the fact that this thing basically needs an air spawn, otherwise it's not going to be able to compete. But anyways, let's get into another match, see what we can do. Probably about the most striking thing about this aircraft, aside from its look, well, it is probably to do with its look. It's the fact that this aircraft is obviously designed as a high-altitude interceptor. But the problem is that, as probably mentioned before in this video, you are going to be flying relatively low. You know, I mean, you'd be lucky if you, by the end of the match, are having sustained dogfights anywhere above 2,000 meters. It just doesn't really happen at this BR. And even in higher BRs, it's not all too incredibly common. Now, that being said, I mean, this plane is meant to spot a target from, I don't know, 10 kilometers out, 5 kilometers out, kind of make its adjustments within that time frame, and then just kind of gun it down and go. And unfortunately, in WarThunder, you have to make your adjustments when you're half a kilometer out, if that. And it just doesn't really work all too well. Anyways, we have an XP50 here. He started... oh, wow, the XP50's dead. I'm kind of... You know what? I'm going to go for this IL-2. No. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going for the IL-2. It's not going to jive well. Because my allies are going to go for him. And I'm not the type of person to just swarm a bunch of planes. Or a single plane. Now we got this P-63. I'm assuming that this SP-2C is probably going to be targeted by him. Oh, hopefully he keeps trying to fight him, and he will. That's the great thing about low BRs, guys. Hopefully he doesn't make too many crazy adjustments. Start firing. Okay, got some nice hits on him. It's not at all a kill. There we go. A single kill, none too shabby. Now I have to worry about this guy. The turn rate on this thing is actually like really good. It's like a kite. Like holy cow. I might go for this. Like oh my, I'm really surprised. Really surprised. I'm gonna probably go for this PE 8 or 2, whatever it is. But as you can see, the dive rate on this thing is not incredible, as one might imagine. But let's see if we can do like a low altitude interception. It's what this plane is made for. I might... Okay, obviously there's no air brakes. I might have to slow down here because I don't know how much this airframe can take. Okay, start firing on him. Got him. Not too shabby-dabby. Still, excellent. Like, that's not bad turn rate at this speed and this altitude. Very decent. Very, very decent. I mean, we're annihilating these people, so I don't know how many more targets I'll actually have access to fighting. But I do still have a good amount of ammunition, and that counts. Yeah, so it's only this guy left, so I doubt I'm going to actually get anyone else here. Yep. Okay. Match over. So that said, let's get into another match, see what we can do, but... Otherwise, I've been both impressed and not impressed by this thing. Like, I feel like it's a very much boom or bust aircraft, but let's just see what we could do in one other match. And my 2 kills here was not really limited so much by this plane, but how many targets there were. One really cool feature of this aircraft, so as you can see, I've got the WEP on. I take it off, and these come out, you know, that's pretty cool. Anyways... Now, one of the biggest problems with this plane is that you have a lot of planes like the SP-2C, the BTD, and all that. They start out at these really high altitudes with cannons, good cannons, and armament, and they could just more or less take out these bombers that the BV-155 is meant to take out at will. I'm going to try to go for him. Oh, good. Let's see if I can shift over to this BV, or this BV, this B-25 over here. As you can see, I've lost pretty much all of my momentum. And when this has no momentum, as one could imagine, it does not move. So, it's not hitting a nice, good spin or turn or whatever you want to call it. But I am still behind this B-25 pretty decently. I've got the range for him mostly. I don't know if this is a good idea, but I'll try to fire on him. And some misses. Oh, he's coming back around. That is pretty typical around this BR, where you have people making decisions like that, where they just decide to come back around. But also, I just want to, like, fire a few more shots at him, just for heck of it. But you know what? Let's see how many people. 1, 2, 3. I'm not gonna stay on that dude's tail. He's already got enough fighters on him. So this thing is kind of like a dull butter knife, a frozen cold dull butter knife trying to cut through butter. And you know, at least that's how its design is. I mean, it's hardly gaining altitude and it's losing speed. You know, this is not at all a fast aircraft. If you thought that this was a fast aircraft based on the stat card, you'd be wrong. It's just not at all. But ultimately, okay, we have this F4U here. He's coming up for a head-on. I'll oblige. I don't really care right now. Got a nice hit on him. Didn't get a kill. Noticing that quite a bit. Getting a lot of crits. Not a lot of outright kills, but not a big deal for me. Got a kill before, a crit there. Is he... okay. I'm not even going to count that as a kill steal. He just kind of helped me with it. This P-63 is running away. Anyways, I don't really think that there's going to be too much else here. So let's lay kind of like my final word down on this aircraft. And my final view on it. Or at least my preliminary view on it, being that this plane literally just came out a few hours ago. So first and foremost, it has a surprisingly good... is he coming for me? This guy looking for a fight? It has a surprisingly good turn rate. Genuinely. I mean, I'm really surprised by it. It has not good speed. At all. The speed is just not there on this aircraft. You're not going to be able to fly at the altitudes that this needs in order to hit its higher speeds. So there's that. But it has a surprisingly good, again, as you can see, turn time. You know, as you saw before, like my pilot was essentially blacking out. It's got a very good armament, which if you could actually put guns on target, it is extremely effective, especially at 3.7 BR. This type of armament is more or less a 5.0 BR plus armament, so it's very, very good. It's early in that regard. Okay, we have this P-63 here. It's coming for a head-on, coming for a head-on. I've only got 20 mils right now. Probably outturn him. Yep, I can. Let's see. Okay, got a hit, got a crit, crit. Nice. Okay, so I've got 2 kills now. Like I said, good armament, very good armament, but you're going to be hampered by the speed on this aircraft, unfortunately. And that sucks. You know, I mean, you have to have an interceptor air spawn in order more or less to do anything with this. And you're almost, at least in my experience, because you can adjust your aircraft better in those situations, you're almost kind of forced to do head-ons, which sucks, obviously. Whoa, was I just hit by an ally? I was. Okay. That's fun. This dude just ran into me. Okay, doesn't really matter. Match is over. But anyways, it's a good aircraft. I think it's very good, but it's a very much boom or bust aircraft, and I don't really see any way around that. It's just you're either going to do really well or not well at all. And I also think more so this is going to be more of an advanced player's aircraft, somebody who has a lot of experience, because it's just such an unusual aircraft. It handles very unusually. It handles almost like a dual rudder plane, or a plane with a much larger rudder than this. And it's a very unusual plane to fly. So you'd have to fly it to know exactly what I mean, but this is just an odd aircraft, very fun aircraft, a very interesting aircraft, and I think it's a beautiful design, but it will be a difficult aircraft for a lot of people to use, and you're almost never going to reach that 15,500 meter altitude, and if you do, it's going to be in test drive. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Please, of course, like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the dealio. I would greatly appreciate all the support, whether it's through a like, a comment, whatever. Doesn't really matter to me. Or even if it's criticism, let me know. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.